Okay folks, I'm going to do something a little bit different today. Somebody had asked about grow bags that I was using. And they're just a regular 5-gallon grow bag. Bought these online. They come out like 30-35 cents a piece, something like that. Fairly cheap. They've got the holes already punched in them so your water can drain through. And what I'm going to do is pot up some of these things I've already got. First thing I do is go ahead and fold the bag down a little bit. Makes it a little bit easier to handle. And square up the bottom just like you would a brown paper bag, you know, from the, well, you don't get it from the grocery store anymore, but you know, regular paper sack. And here's my compost mix, compost, perlite, and peat moss. Go ahead and start filling this up a little bit. Get it about a third of the way, what I try to do, depending on the size of the transplant that I'm going to put in here. And this one right here is a druzba, which in, I think, Bulgarian or German something means friendship. So what I do, I've got them in the 6-inch cups already, and you can see little broadleaf weeds popping up from a compost. It's not 100% composted, so it didn't kill all the weeds. But what I do, some people will just break them off, but I don't like to break the leaves and the suckers off too much because sometimes they don't break right and they kind of split down the side of the stem, which I don't think is good. So I take the suckers and just cut them off, little bitty suckers, and the leaves, and clean up the bottom and get this thing ready to go into the bag. And all these little bitty hairs along here, they're going to develop into roots. So we'll just loosen this up. You see the nice root structure right here, and I'm going to put it in the bag, taking into consideration which way it's going to go in the little tub of water and how I want to string it up. So I'm going to have one on each side, and then we're just going to finish filling this up. Since I've got some fairly good size transplants here, I'm going to go ahead and finish filling most of the pot, most of the bag. It goes pretty quick. I've got, I don't know, 20 some of these already done, and I've got another 20 something to go. So got more tomatoes right now than I know what to do with, but I'm going to keep on till I have to start putting them outside. And once you get it to this point, you got a couple of options for tubs. I've been using these 12-quart dish drain things from Walmart. I've bought them out a couple of times already. They got white, beige, and black. I don't want to use the black because I think it's just going to draw too much heat. And I picked a couple of these up this morning. This is a little 12.7 quart. Costs a little bit more. This is like $4, and this is $2.50. But I'm running out of options, and I need to get these things potted up. So we just take a tub and pick this up, set it down in it, and there you go. I'll go ahead and finish filling this up. But where I got this idea from was Tootie Mata and Possum over on the Bayou Gardener forum. They had talked about and posted some pictures of peppers and tomatoes that they had grown in a water bath kind of system, where he actually had a container of water up under the plants. And it makes sense to me because most of the time people water, you know, from the top, and you got to have holes at the bottom for the water to drain out. And every time you water, your water is going through your soil, your whatever your mixture is, and it's going to wash it out. So a lot of the nutrients are going to be washed out at the bottom. In this particular method, all the nutrients get washed to the bottom if they are going to be lost, and then the plant can take them right back up without losing anything, which to me sounds like a pretty brilliant idea. It's working so far. If you can see those suckers over there and see the size of the stems on those things, they've actually they've gone crazy. They like being able to have water readily available. If they don't need it, they won't use it, and as the plant grows, I just keep adding water to it every day, making sure I got enough down there to cover up the bottom holes. But you end up with something like that, and then you can take a black marker and you can actually write whatever the type of tomato is on there, so you don't get it mixed up. But that's one down, and I've got about a dozen to go today, so let me get back to work. Okay, once you finish up potting these things, or bagging them, I guess it's not going in the pot, this is what you'll end up with. This is 2, 4, 6 that I just finished up right here, 6, 1 on the end, 7 that I just finished up. I've already gone and watered from the top the first time to try to get things a little wet up at the surface, and added water to the tub to go ahead and start the wicking process, so the water can come on up through the soil from the bottom and get these things ready to go. And as you can see, there's 2 plants in each bag, and somebody was asking why would you put 2 big tomatoes in the same bag. And well, I'm not going to let them get to be a great big bushy plant. I'm going to prune them back to just one single stem, keep the suckers off of them, and do them like a regular greenhouse production tomato does, just straight up, and pick them as they go. So I think you can get by with having 2 vines in the same container like that. A possum on the forum had some 5-gallon buckets that he had done with 2 indeterminate vines in the same container, and they did very well. So basically that's what this is, 5-gallon grow bag sitting in a tub of water, and I'm hoping to get something close to what he's got. And this is what there should end up being like. You can see here's the tub and the grow bag filled up, and these were the Rutgers suckers from January 1, and you can see I already got a big bunch of tomatoes coming on it, and then the next cluster that's already got a small tomato, and then another cluster coming up here. And one of the things that I noticed in growing the tomatoes the last couple of months, last few months, is it seems like you get a bigger tomato on the primary stem than you do on the suckers. So maybe this is why the production greenhouses choose this route. They don't want the smaller tomatoes off the side shoots. Granted, they still will make some nice tomatoes, but I think you get a bigger tomato if you keep it right along the primary stem. That's just something I have noticed so far. But this is a new venture for me, being the greenhouse and grow bags and all this kind of stuff. So if I'm off on the wrong track, anybody got any suggestions or anything that you think could help me, or I'm going down the wrong road, please let me know. And thank you for watching. Take care.